'cause I really love to.
Welcome to A Slightly Blinded Me and another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, and today we're going to go through some of the news stories, and a lot of them are making me a little bit salty. We'll start, however, with a positive one, and this is concerning the future of Elite Dangerous. For those of you who somehow don't know, Elite Dangerous is a very popular space simulator in the vein of the Elite series of games, funnily enough, developed by Frontier Development, who also make Planet Coaster. In their inaugural expo, I think it was just an expo about Elite Dangerous, not Frontier Development games in general, so you didn't really get any Planet Coaster news, to the best of my knowledge. In the expo, they outlined a set of updates which will be under the umbrella term Beyond. This is a series of 4 major updates to the game that will be free to anybody who owns the Horizons DLC pack, including several updates to things like ship design. There'll be new ship types, new things you can do with ships, and planets themselves will be a lot less monochrome. This is one of the things that people had noted about the Horizons expansion pack, that while you could go to so many planets within the game, a lot of them were very sort of beige, is the term that gets bandied around a lot. So they're addressing that amongst other things. These set of updates are due throughout 2018 and will address various sort of problems regarding things like upgrading top tier weapons, which may accidentally result in a downgrade. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but they're changing that. Loads of other little technical things that might make the game a little bit more palatable, maybe. But yeah, it's certainly a big undertaking. I'm glad that they're paying such attention to what is now, what is it, a 3-4-year-old game? And they're giving it this much love still. I'm happy with that. Now for a subject that I always get a little bit salty on, loot boxes. You may have noticed my disdain for loot boxes throughout the GameCast sort of lifespan. That's not changed. And it seems that even, basically everyone, actually, is getting a bit tired of them now. I'll actually merge 2 bits of news into one here and say that Assassin's Creed Origins is having loot boxes. I don't know if that was particularly news as such. Is it having loot boxes? Shit. Yes, it does have loot boxes. Fuck you. I can't actually remember. I wouldn't be surprised if it had loot boxes anyway. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins has announced a lot of DLC. Like, a lot. 2 big bits of DLC before the game has come out. But that's a business practice I'll get to in a minute. The whole loot box system has got so out of hand now that amongst a load of YouTubers, myself, and then people who actually matter, like Jim Sterling and Total Biscuit, making extensive videos decrying the whole loot box system, it has now got to the point where OpenCritic, a sort of Metacritic style aggregator, I think that's what they are anyway, are now trying to take a stand against loot boxes. In a tweet, OpenCritic stated that they are taking a stand against loot boxes, as I mentioned, and are looking towards steps to implement a sort of warning / like a way to look at the loot box whole thing within their system, and they are open to suggestions. So if you do have any suggestions on how OpenCritic could be transparent and look at the whole loot box system within each game, then by all means give them a tweet. I'm sure they'd be happy for your input, provided it's not just... Back to Assassin's Creed though, their DLC practices. Like, do you remember when DLC practices were considered like the height of gaming excess? We were so naive. So yeah, they have done the usual thing. I mean, they've not stated that this DLC is in development, which is, you know, that's a good start. Well done. You've done that. But, you know, we've got the season pass, because of course we've got all the little versions and all the extra bits and all of this. And, you know, now they've just announced what the DLC is. This is a practice I still loathe. I don't like the whole announcing DLC before the games even come out. Like, if you've got some DLC that you're going to have download, just put a season pass. We've got a season pass, you'll get all the DLC later. Don't announce your DLC before the game. That shouldn't be a selling point of your game. That should be like a thing for later, for people who bought the game. But whatever. This DLC will be about an undead mummy, because of course it will. Okay, I mean, the series has always sort of skirted the line between sci-fi and realistic, and now it's gone. Come on, really? Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it there. I can't talk about it anymore because it just depresses me. And finally, the developers of Star Trek Timelines, who are called Disruptor Beam. Well done. It's a good developer name. You've done well. Have had to lay off several of their staff. While they're not a huge development team by any stretch of the imagination, they have had to make 10 layoffs, which is quite a significant portion of their staff. This is, however, a little bit strange when you consider that they had a big investment drive recently. The company recently launched a game onto the mobile scene called The Walking Dead March to War. Probably another sort of freemium game, but this is a weird time to be having layoffs when they've just launched that and they had an 8.5 million funding round during the development of that game. $8.5 million. And somehow they can't keep these 10 staff on. That's really strange. Are they hemorrhaging money? Because if that's the case, then I'm gonna worry for the rest of the team if that's the case. Regardless, job losses within the gaming industry are always terrible, no matter how terrible or awful the developer as a whole is. Looking at you, EA! So as always, I will say that I hope the people in question get jobs within the industry and can support themselves as they have been before now. And that's it for this episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's a little bit of a higgledy-piggledy mess. If you did, please give us a like, subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, along with a link to our Discord where you can have some lovely public chat. If you like me, I can be found on Twitch at twitch.tv/metalnerddude, and I can be found on Twitter at @SnowyDuffield. As always, stay tuned to GameCast for more news, reviews, let's plays, podcasts, and even a show that I do about new releases on Steam called The Release Radar. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon for more news.